Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Deputy PM, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Member of Parliament. I rise today to express my own support for the 2016 budget and to thank the Honorable Minister for Finance and his team for a great effort in setting the spending priorities for next year. I wish to firstly convey my compliments to His Excellency Major General George Conrote as he assumes office as our Head of State and Commander-in-Chief of the Republic of Fiji Military Forces. I can assure him of the complete loyalty and support of all men and women in uniform and their best wishes as he takes over as their Commander-in-Chief and Head of State. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I also wish to condemn the perpetrators of the terrorist attacks in Paris and express our sincere condolences to the French people for the suffering they have endured. This is not only an attack on the people of France, but an attack on global peace and stability. And I'm sure the whole House joins me in conveying our sympathy to all those affected by this barbaric act of terror. On a happier note, may I also congratulate Fijiana Sevens team for winning the Oceania Sevens and gaining qualification to the Rio Olympics. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the 2016 budget is a blueprint of our spending as a nation's next years that secures Fiji's future and advances the value of equality, fairness, personal responsibility, and good governance. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I wish to focus my comments this afternoon on the allocation provided to the department under my portfolio. The Ministry of Defense, National Security and Immigration is tasked with the coordination and supervision of Fiji national security effort through the formulation and effective implementation of policies, legislation, programs, and initiatives related to maintaining and enhancing our security and defense. The Ministry is currently undertaking a review of Fiji national security and defense sector. The first draft of our national security policy has been completed and is currently with the Solicitor General's Office for review before our final round of consultation. This project will be carried over to 2016, and we intend to finalize the first ever white paper in 2006, which include the Defense White Paper, the Police White Paper, and the Immigration White Paper. The Ministry of Defense National Security Headquarters has been allocated a budget of $3.6 million that will enable it to operate and deliver its normal services, including policy advice and implementation of various legislation under the Ministry. This allocation sees an increase of just over $1 million, which has been set aside for the finalization of the National War Memorial Project in Veuto. The Ministry will work in partnership with the Fiji Museum in promoting the new military museum to both locals and our overseas visitors to recognize and commemorate the sacrifice of Fijians in various conflicts in which we serve. The National War Memorial helps Fijians to especially remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in the defense of the values we all hold dear. The Department of Immigration has been provided with a budget allocation of $5.5 million. The Department, of course, is responsible for providing an efficient and effective immigration services through the administration and enforcement of immigration legislation. The Department has received an increased allocation of $750,000 for the integrated passport insurance system. This decentralizes the issuing of passport as part of our overall aim to reach out to the public and especially those in the rural areas. Having issuing centers for passport located in the immigration office in Lautoka for the west and Lambasa for northern parts of Fiji, as well as our embassies overseas, will significantly ease the burden of ordinary Fijians wanting to acquire a passport. It will make the issuing process faster and smoother and also reduce the cost of Fijians of having to travel to a central location as in the past. For the Fiji Police Force, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the safety and security of all Fijians is paramount. The government and the Fiji Police Force has the important responsibility to keep the people of Fiji safe by maintaining law and order, protecting property, and upholding the rule of law. Between 2012 and 2014, there was a significant decline in serious offenses and crime against children, while there was a slight increase in crime against women. The overall crime statistics over the same period have fallen significantly from 22,416 recorded in 2012 to 17,633 in 2014. This represents a significant overall reduction in the crime rate of approximately 21%. One of the biggest challenges in terms of police operation is a shortage of vehicles available for the conduct of forced day-to-day work. Government will be providing at the end of this month approximately 30 vehicles towards the end of this year to assist with the police operation on the short term. Government in the 2016 budget has also allocated provision for infrastructure development with the general intention of improving police services to the public. Honorable Deputy Speaker, 126.3 million has been provided for the Fiji Police Force. This represents an increase of $5.8 million in comparison to the 2015 allocation. The increased funding in the operating budget is for the appointment of 108 new officers to address manpower shortage in the border police, prosecutors, support staff, and research officers. And the increased funding in the capital budget is primarily for the construction of new police station, posts, and renovation of living quarters. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I will focus on the allocation for capital construction and capital purchases as we enhance the capacity of the police to deliver their services and provide them with the modern equipment they need to conduct their work efficiently. 3.7 million is allocated for the capital construction for the police force in 2016. 2.4 million is provided for the construction of the new Balileu police station. This will enable the station to meet expanded police responsibilities required to serve a rapidly increasing population in the senior area, which according to the latest figure stands at approximately 127,000. 710,000 has been allocated for the construction of the Mbenga police post, which will enhance accessibility to police services on the islands and also Yanuda, given the growing development in the area. This is part of the government overall plan to provide better accessibility to police services for all Fijians, especially those in the rural areas and the maritime areas, and will continue for the next 3 or 4 years. 300,000 has been provided for renovating and extending existing police station and police posts. This will ensure that police officers are provided with a safe and conducive work environment to enable them to conduct their duties in the best of their ability. 300,000 also been provided for the upgrade of police living quarters across the nation. 4.6 million is provided for capital purchases. Honorable Deputy Speaker, this allocation will allow the police force to enhance its ability to deter, detect, and investigate crimes through the use of modern police technology. The following purchases have been earmarked for 2016 to assist in this regard: solar power panels for rural and maritime police stations and posts to provide a sustainable standalone power source in remote locations. This will enable police to maintain their operation in times of natural disaster. It is also in line with government efforts to promote environmentally friendly power source. Communication equipment to modernize the police system and take it from an analog to a digital multi-band platform. This will enhance police communication and connectivity locally and abroad, and especially our police present in rural areas and the outer islands. Phase 1 commenced this year and will continue for the next 3 years. CCTV and traffic management equipment, not only will this assist with document evidence of traffic offenses, but also provide for safer traffic management and more efficient movement in major population corridors. This will also enhance the traffic control unit's ability to enforce highway and road laws and detect infringements. Standing protective equipment for police officers to assist them in making arrests and for their safety and protection in volatile situations. Special operation equipment for search and rescue, natural disaster, and other policing operations. The purchase of analytic forensic chemistry equipment and digital imagery laboratory to provide us with strong capability in toxicology analysis, traces evidence analysis, and absent case sample analysis. This will lead to improved detection and conviction rates and also allow for better investigative capabilities. Forensic technology needs to evolve continuously to keep up with the ability of criminals to employ much more devious and sophisticated means to break the law. It is obvious prudent for Fiji to improve its capacity to deal with these criminal elements. The purchase of 4 patrol crafts and 4 tactical response boats for maritime police station. These boats will strengthen the police maritime presence, which extends from the shoreline to 12 nautical miles out to sea and better serve community areas. Priority will be given to the policing of identifying crime hotspots within our territorial waters. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the police have been given $590,000 for the purchase of specialized vehicles for the specific purposes of transporting and managing persons in custody or deceased persons being carried to and from morgues. Honorable Deputy Speaker, these capital purchases are in line with the government intention to lift the standard of policing to international best practices by improving their operational readiness and effectiveness. Honorable Deputy Speaker, combating crime is not the sole responsibility of the Fiji Police Force and requires assistance from every citizen. I therefore call on all Fijians to assist the Fiji Police Force whenever and wherever possible to ensure that we continue to maintain a peaceful Fiji for all. For the Republic of Fiji Military Forces, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the primary responsibility of the RFF to ensure at all times the security, defense, and well-being of Fiji and all Fijians. The RFF has also been an important pillar of our foreign policy through its significant contribution to the United Nations peacekeeping operation in troubled areas around the world. There has been a significant fall of $8.5 million in the budget allocation to RFF next year, and this is largely due to the reduction in capital projects. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, the RFF has been provided with $1 million to cater for preliminary works for the construction of the Black Rock Integrated Peacekeeping Center project. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the RFF has also played a significant role in national development. As an example, the number of projects implemented by the RFF engineers from Jan 2014 to November 2015 is 23, with a total cost of $2.9 million, which has assisted greatly in improving the lives of many Fijians, and in particular those living in rural areas. For example, the RFF has built footbridges for the maritime islands such as Ovalau and Ngau, school blocks for the Namuka Secondary School, Ratufilimoni Memorial School, Batiri Primary School, and so on, to name a few. The RFF has also completed a number of road projects like Korosi to Malanga Road in Waileabu, Sabu, Unsha, and Namara in Kanabu. The RFF has also been an integral part of the effort to assist all Fijians during and after natural disaster over the years. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Fiji Navy, despite its limited resources, has been able to effectively monitor our EEZ over the last 9 years in the absence of EEZ surveillance from New Zealand, France, and Australia. It is important to note the $202 million that is being provided for the renovation of RFF Kiro is to increase its seaworthiness for the next 25 years. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the RFF will continue with the renovation and infrastructure development of the RFF building at Queen Elizabeth Barracks, Sukunai Walu, VC Barracks in Lambasa, and the Force Trading Group in Asinu. The upgrading and renovation projects are aimed at improving the RFF infrastructure and amenities to support the expanded RFF programs and establishment. This has stagnated over the past 9 years due to RFF focus on national development. Honorable Deputy Speaker, as mentioned last year, with the current state of its building, the morale and operation effectiveness of the RFF will be adversely affected unless we meet its infrastructure needs. The improvement to infrastructure will remain one of RFF's top priority for the next 3 years. $200,000 has been allocated for the maintenance and spare parts to ensure RFF vehicles are operational. Honorable Deputy Speaker, learning from our challenges this year, which resulted in a slow capital project implementation, the Ministry will ensure that this is not repeated in 2016. We are currently working on our project's implementation plan for 2016, and some processes will start this year to ensure that all projects are completed in time. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the budget allocation to the RFF still ensures that it is able to conduct its national role effectively, while at the same time being able to meet our peacekeeping obligations. For peacekeeping, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the RFF has been the Fijian government vehicle to support and participate in global peace and security initiatives. For over 3 decades, in 1978, our servicemen and women have participated in peacekeeping operations in troubled spots around the world, including Lebanon, Sinai, East Timor, Bougainville, Solomon Islands, Sudan, Iraq, and the Golden Heights. This commitment has lifted our profile internationally and has given us a disproportionate influence in various international forums in relation to our size. We are punching above our weight and are acknowledged around the world for doing so. Honorable Deputy Speaker, It is well known to the international community that the RFMF was willing to go to Iraq and the Golan Heights where no other military force around the world was prepared to do so. This has given us a huge amount of prestige as a nation and is a source of pride for every Fijian. The increase in the 2016 budget of $60 million to cover the increase of local allowance for multinational forces observing the Sinai coincides with the increasing intensity of the operations of the Sinai Peninsula. The situation there is uncertain and volatile. The MFO has augmented its operational capacity to counter the escalation of violence within the region. This increased provision deservedly puts the allowances of Fijians serving with the MFO at the same level as other RFMF peacekeeping missions overseas. Honorable Deputy Speaker, as part of the Fiji commitment to global security, Honorable Prime Minister pledged Fiji continued involvement in peacekeeping arena. $6 million increase for next year is a clear indication of our determination to maintain this commitment, which is highly valued by the international community. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Rodin Dalo, during her speech earlier today, mentioned that the military budget is 2006 was 5% of GDP. I wish to reiterate, Honorable Deputy Speaker, that it is grossly misleading piece of information. The 2000 budget for the military is approximately 1.3% of GDP. Honorable Deputy Speaker, this is significantly less than the global average for democratic countries, which stands at around approximately 2 to 2% of the GDP. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Member has also mentioned that our investment in peacekeeping does not quite reflect the return that it brings to the country. Our achievement in the field of peacekeeping and foreign diplomacy has translated into all kinds of benefits to Fiji. This includes our chairmanship of the G77, membership of the Non-Aligned Movement, and chairing such bodies as the International Sugar Organization. In addition, peacekeeping has, since 2007, brought in, on average, just about $40 million in revenue for government. Honorable Deputy Speaker, as I have stated in many of my speeches in the Parliament over the course of last year, the notion that the RFMF is solely responsible for the coup that have occurred in Fiji is grossly misleading. In fact, the 1987 and 2000 events were instigated by some disgruntled elements, including chiefs and some church leaders who were able to influence certain members of the RFMF to support their cause. Honorable Deputy Speaker, our investment in peacekeeping has nothing to do with the so-called coup culture in the country. This coup culture can only be removed if there is a holistic review of our current security and defense sector, an area my ministry is trying to address in our current defense review process. Honorable Deputy Speaker, to conclude, in order to continue the government's positive growth outlook for 2016 and beyond, it is vital for us to provide safety, security, and stability. Only with this can we create a necessary environment to attract investment for development and real opportunity for our people to prosper. Honorable Deputy Speaker, with a total appropriation of $308.1 million provided to the Department under my ministerial portfolio, government ensuring that the organization entrusted with our security and defense remain efficient, effective, and agile enough to meet current and emerging challenges. Honorable Deputy Speaker, this is a people's budget, a budget true to its theme and moving us forward. A strong Fiji, fair Fiji, and healthy Fiji. And I have great pleasure in commending it to the House as an effective blueprint to continue moving our nation forward. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. On this note, I would like to reiterate my support for the 2006 budget and conclude that this is a budget for all Fijians.